I'm a trained fighter. Would he be okay with me just beating the shit out of him and taking all his shit? Or would he sing a different tune then, right? Would he sing a cohesion tune and a Christianity and a love tune? Why not do that now? Why not sing that now, you hypocrite? Real question. This is to the young men. The young men that watch Nick Fuentes. When has Nick Fuentes ever said something that genuinely inspired you? Inspired you to be better, inspired you towards something that is good, true, and beautiful. Nick Fuentes sold us on being anti-war. He built his brand on opposing neocons and forever wars. But now Trump talks Venezuela oil, and suddenly it's we're strong, they're weak, let's take their shit. Let's watch some clips of him sounding the war horn and talk about how it completely lacks consistency and morality.
A war that would be good for us is a war where we actually get stuff and would make us rich. Like a war that would make us rich is to go to war in Venezuela. You know, and a lot of people are criticizing me. They're like, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. They have a lot of oil. We should fucking take it. We're the biggest country ever. We're the biggest and best country ever. They have all this oil and we're playing games. We're going to let this guy say, oh, you don't get our oil. Says fucking who? We will come in and we will kill all of you. Our military will come in and wipe out your regime and we will take your oil and enrich our country. If you went to war in Venezuela, we get all the oil and all the gas and it makes us rich. And we could honestly just steal it.
What happened to no wars, Nick? What happened to that? Like, what is with this weird flip-flop? And it all happened so suddenly, too. I didn't think of him as the type of person that would see the common consensus in America and align himself with that. But, I mean, it sure is looking like it. It genuinely shocked me when I watched a clip of the stream where he's just gleefully, with this smug face, calling for regime change in Venezuela. And it's so odd because he's the one that's pointed out how successful we were with all our regime change wars in the Middle East. How did Afghanistan go, Nick? How did Libya turn out? How did Iran turn out? And now I'm looking at him siding with all the Fed slop with the Charlie Kirk assassination a whole lot differently. Like, what is going on? What is it? Who is this new Nick Fuentes that we're seeing? And the problem is, I don't believe there's anything new about it. He showed us signs of this version of him.
A war that would be good for us is a war where we actually get stuff and would make us rich. Like a war that would make us rich is to go to war in Venezuela. You know, and a lot of people are criticizing me. They're like, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. They have a lot of oil. We should fucking take it. We're the biggest country ever. We're the biggest and best country ever. They have all this oil and we're playing games. We're going to let this guy say, oh, you don't get our oil. Says fucking who? We will come in and we will kill all of you. Our military will come in and wipe out your regime and we will take your oil and enrich our country.
Nick, I'm a trained fighter and you're a soft, weak internet guy. Should I take all of your shit? And that's not to mention his complete lack of consideration for Catholic lives in Venezuela. South America is primarily Catholic. I don't know if there's any countries in Venezuela that aren't Catholic. And he's a Catholic, and that sheds light on another issue. People like Nick Fuentes co-opt Christianity. This whole Christian nationalism thing, like on the surface, it sounds like a great idea, right? But where is your Christianity when you could so callously talk about the Catholic, mind you, the Catholic lives in this country that you just want to take to war? Or have you just co-opted Christianity for political motives? And you know, now that I think about it, Nick Fuentes goes to verbal war, not physical, of course, with everybody. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, everybody. It's only venom coming out of this person's mouth at all times. And now that there isn't even consistency to back him up, what is this guy even? What does he stand for? Real question. This is to the young men. The young men that watch Nick Fuentes. When has Nick Fuentes ever said something that genuinely inspired you? Inspired you to be better, inspired you towards something that is good, true, and beautiful? When has he ever said anything deep that made you look at reality different, look at people different, or try to consider their point of view? It's all rage bait. And it's a reflection. I don't mean to be a keyboard psychologist, but I think it's fairly easy to see. It's a reflection of somebody that's deeply unhappy. Guys, you don't want to be like this guy.
If you went to war in Venezuela, we get all the oil and all the gas, and it makes us rich. And we could honestly just steal it. We are in great power competition with China and Russia for the alignment of middle powers, for the alignment of resource-rich countries, and we're in a battle with Russia and China over supply chains and the resources that fuel the supply chains. Specifically things like energy, rare earths, minerals, and then the shipping routes that transit those raw materials. Who cares if Venezuela is run by some corrupt, petty tyrant? Just take their shit. Get as many countries on our side of the ledger so that we can take their shit.
Despite the fact that Nick is a very smart guy, he's too stupid to see that we don't live in an American hegemony anymore. We live in a multipolar world. The days of American imperialism, they're over. Like, I hate to say it, but they're over. And you know, maybe that's a good thing. I used to think I was an empire guy. I used to think that the Roman Empire was so cool, and the Greek Empire was so cool, and the Ottoman Empire was so cool. But the reality is, when these different nations become empires, they develop hubris. And that's what Nick has, is this hubris. And if we as a country don't let go of this ill-founded hubris, if we as a country, especially those of us that consider ourselves Christian, if we don't let go of this hubris, the downfall will be insane. And you know, this goes into a deeper topic. You know what the downfall of America is? It's not because, like he's saying, yes, obviously there is this supply chain war between China, Russia, and America. Obviously. And he's just thinking in terms of numbers, right? Let's do whatever we need to do, no matter if it's right or wrong, to manipulate our way into controlling the supply chains. And that's how we hold our power. That's not what built this country, the US. That's not what built America and made it what it was during its peak. You know what it was? It was the fact that the men and women of this country had a mythos that they fully believed in. When people are connected to a story, which was Christianity and should be Christianity again, it gives them the inspiration, the vision, the love to work hard, sacrifice themselves, and act accordingly on the world stage. It blesses the country. It blesses the individual who lives like that. It doesn't contain hubris. Of course, we always had a certain level of hubris, but nothing like now. We are a prime example of end stage empire right now. No, we don't need to go into Venezuela. There are other ways to arrange these things, right? The last thing America should do is enact empirical ambitions on the world stage when we already are not in our strongest position. A large portion of the world already doesn't like us. And for us to enact our empirical ambitions on the world stage in hopes that we return to our former glory couldn't be more delusional. We have a spiritual problem. That's where the problem lies. I was a Trump guy when I thought he was an anti-war, make America great guy, America only guy. But even for him to lack political correctness to the point where he says, Venezuela has oil, they have oil, and we're gonna take that oil. Like, dude, that's a reflection of how fucked we are. I can give it to Nick. I don't believe I'm as politically intelligent as him. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not. But what I do know is he lacks life experience and wisdom. Any man that's been through anything will tell you that. Young men, this isn't the guy you want to follow. The things that he says are good. I'm not saying don't listen to him. Nick says some good things. Extremely smart guy. Don't model your life after this guy. The things he says, even about Tucker Carlson. Now, I'm not a Tucker Carlson's #1 fan or Candace Owens' #1 fan. There's things about them that get under my skin. Whatever. But for him to demean Tucker by calling him the wife guy, right? You're supposed to be the mega Chad, the ultra Chad guy, and you should tell your wife to shut the fuck up and go to the kitchen, right? It's so internet brain and retarded, and it lacks depth. But this bitterness that he projects onto Tucker with that remark, it's the same bitterness and hubris that will result in him convincing a huge portion of his audience that we should go fight another regime change war. How has that turned out for us? Again, how has that turned out for us? And another ironic thing is he's the big no immigrant guy. If there is a regime change war in Venezuela, where do you think the refugees are going to go, you fucking idiot?
Actually, probably favor regime change in Venezuela. It's actually think it would be beneficial if we had a pro-American regime in Venezuela. Probably would be good for us because of the resources they have. And
do you actually think that by us going into Venezuela and pushing the remaining power that we have around on the world stage is going to get other countries on our ledger? Like, think this through. There's two things that are keeping our perceived power on the world stage right now. It's the American dollar, the fact that it still carries, despite the fact that we're going through an insane time as pertains to the dollar, but it still holds a lot of value. A lot of the world economies use it, and that's our foothold into power, and our military, which actually backs our dollar in a lot of ways. And Venezuela it's similar to Vietnam in the fact that the terrain is extremely unwelcoming for American soldiers who haven't fought in a recent war in a long time. And if we suffer a military defeat over there, which is not as crazy as some people may think, it's very possible what happened in Vietnam. If that was to happen in a world that's already becoming multipolar, how would that make us look? What would that do to our dollar that our military backs? Just food for thought.
actually probably favor regime change in Venezuela. It's actually think it would be beneficial if we had a pro-American regime in Venezuela. Probably would be good for us because of the resources they have. And we also want to keep,
because of the resources that they have. If we were to extract those resources, where do you think they're going? Nick is not this stupid. He knows exactly where and how those resources will be allocated. So it makes me wonder why. Why this take and why this shift all of a sudden? Like I said earlier in the video, he's way more politically adept than I am. Probably higher IQ than me. And if I'm aware of what America does with the resources they get in these regime change wars, and what happens to the countries after, there must be an agenda with him.
it would be a good thing if America could take all their oil and natural gas. We need the energy. We want the energy. You know, we're coming up on the end of the fracking boom. We want their oil and natural gas. They're not making enough of it because of the pressure on them. Strictly speaking, it would be better if there was an American-aligned government there that could optimally and efficiently extract those resources and send them to the United States. It'd be better for our economy. It'd be better for our technology industry in the era where electricity and energy is a very important commodity for intelligence and for defense. That's a good thing, actually.
Yeah, Mike is right. So we should take it just because we can. He gives us all this obvious information. Of course, the world countries need resources, and resources are low right now, so we should just take it. I'm not as much of a political guy as I am a religious or spiritual guy, or like I analyze that kind of stuff. I think about it a lot. What is the point? What is being a Christian in America now? It means nothing. It's a political statement for Nick Fuentes, and it's a political statement for 99.9% of politicians that claim to be Christian. So when it comes to resources, it's all right if Venezuelans who are primarily Catholic die. What if we went through, God forbid, a nuclear winter or something like that, and all our infrastructure went away, or we're stuck on an island somewhere, right? And I happen to be on the same island as Nick Fuentes, and he has resources. I'm a trained fighter. Would he be okay with me just beating the shit out of him and taking all his shit? Or would he sing a different tune then, right? Would he sing a cohesion tune and a Christianity and a love tune? Why not do that now? Why not sing that now, you hypocrite? Just because, by the way, China hasn't been. When's the last time China was in a war? But just because China and Russia are doing something, does that mean America has to do something? You know, shouldn't we be the light to the world? The Statue of Liberty, holding the lamp. Think about these things. Why are these symbols of this country? It's a reflection of what we used to be. And this is pure hubris.
Small-minded arguments where people say, anytime America uses its wealth and power, that's not America first. Well, what exactly is America first? Is the only thing that the military can do to patrol the border? And some people might say yes, but I would say no, we want to control our periphery. We want to control a sphere of influence. Is that not what every other country is doing? What is Russia doing? What is China doing?
Again, do we have to do what other countries are doing exactly? I'm not saying opt out of the economical war and not to play 3D chess and to use a certain level of craftiness. But yes, our military should be used for defense. Is it that crazy to say that we should not invade any country that isn't the aggressor? Look, guys, I may have gotten a little emotional in this video. It just genuinely shocked me what he was saying. I don't trust Nick anymore. Look, I wish Nick the best. I'm invested in this country. So I'm not looking at it only from the point of view of grandiosity, power, and all that, even though I'm a guy. I'm an MMA fighter, for goodness sakes. We need strong men, and sometimes ass whoopings are very appropriate. But I think we have enough pride. We need humility. Look, thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys like that real shit, right? That what's good, true, and beautiful. I talk about philosophy, I talk about religion, and I talk about the absolute chaos we call politics. But it's gotta be beneficial, man. It's gotta inspire towards good, towards beauty, right? I'm gonna say it how it is. That's what it is. I want to be inspired. I don't want to be full of bitterness, resentment. Continue the conversation down below. Tell me what you think about this new side of Nick. Is it even a new side? And if you like what I said and you like my style of making videos, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Help this video do good. Get in the Demon Talks community, and we're going to get into all the good, interesting, juicy stuff. And as always, I love you guys. God bless. And I'll see you next time on Demon Talks.